Hallelujah.
All thanks and praise to the Holy One of Israel. Alone in y'all by saying again, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
God is righteous
Yahweh is right
all the time.
all the time.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Let's turn our scriptures. We got us here today. On this beautiful, glorious day we got made. On the Shabbat day, we give him praise. This is the day that God made. We should be glad, rejoice in it. Unique unto himself. We have not seen this day before, neither will we see it again in this society again. It's unique unto itself. Let us cherish it. All its wonderful benefits, many wonders, and marvelous works that it will bring to us. Give thanks unto the Creator. Begin one day, Shabbat Shalom. Those joining our social media. Thank you for tuning in this time, on this day, in this hour. Be with us if we give thanks and praise to the Most High Yahweh. Bless him and ask him to strengthen you and be with you as well. Ask that you do have access to scriptures that you can get them at this time. We proceed to read on 22. Starting with Psalm 22. First of all, read everything. Psalm 122 reads as follows. I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of Yahweh. Our feet shall stand within thy gates, O Jerusalem. Jerusalem is built as a city that is compacted together, where the tribes go up, the tribes of Yahweh, into the testimony of Israel, to give thanks unto the name of Yahweh. For there are set thrones of judgment, the thrones of the house of David. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. Peace be within our walls, and prosperity within our palaces. For my brethren and companions' sake, I will now say, peace be with thee. Because of the house of Yahweh Elohim, I will seek thy good. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Let's turn to Psalm 92. Yahweh, to sing praise unto thy name, O Most High, to show forth thy love streams upon the salt, upon the harp with a solemn sound. For thou, Yahweh, hast made me glad through thy work, in the works of thy hands. O Yahweh, how great are thy works! And when the wicked spring as a grass, Yahweh, Most High, forevermore. For lo, thy enemies, O Yahweh, for lo, thy enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shall not exalt like the horn of a wild ox. I shall be anointed. The righteous shall flourish like a palm tree. He shall grow like the cedar of Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh shall flourish in the courts of Elohim. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourish. To show that Yahweh is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Let's turn down to Psalm 23. States, God is my shepherd,
I shall not want.
He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me with, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me. Thy rod and Lord is my hand with oil, and my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of Yahweh. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Finally, let us turn to reflection. He wrote his own feet on two capital stones, delivered them into the hand of his servant Moses.
Israel Elohim, and they will be his people forever. God did so with these great words found in Exodus.
All these words saying, I am Yahweh the Elohim, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other equal that is in heaven above, or the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahweh the Elohim, am the just Elohim. This is the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate, and showing mercy to the thousand of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh Elohim in vain, but Yahweh don't hold him guilty that taking his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahweh thy Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, cattle, nor the strangers within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in the midst, and he rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
And all the people stood in the light, the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoke. When the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. They said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, we will hear. Let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die. Moses said unto the people, Fear not, Elohim is come to prove you, that his fear may be before your faces, that you sin not.
Yah is righteous all the time, both day and night. Hallelujah. There you go.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Be Almighty Yahweh, of Israel, Elohim, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, him alone, all praise, all glory, and all honor. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
We want to voice all our testimonies, comments, perhaps questions, be introduced to the General Assembly at this time.
Hallelujah.
What a baby, grandbaby he is. Hallelujah. Yes.
Yah,
Hallelujah.
all praises and all glory belongs unto the Holy One of Israel by saying hallelujah. I want to thank Yahweh this day, blessing me, watching over me, keeping me safe. And I want to give Yahweh all the praise, and I will sit up after I got done with my chiropractor meeting. So praise Yah. I got good growth and mobility coming back into my back, so I'm able to do a little bit more. So I'm thankful that Yahweh has looked over me, and I didn't have any real severe damage, because everyone's always talking how tricky the back is and back injuries, you know, and I'm thankful to Yah that He's allowed me to come with such a speedy recovery
where I wasn't too hurt, but I was hurt just enough to give me a wake-up call, let me know what I need to be doing and not doing. Hallelujah. I want to thank Yahweh for this day, looking over my family, looking over all my brothers and my sisters that we slept through the night and got some good rest, and then y'all woke us up and brought us here today. And I'm thankful to that. So all I want to say is hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yahweh.
Any other comments from anyone? My testimony is from this past week. It's a very interesting week because, like, my friends, this ain't the first time we had dates on when the next day started. I thought it was funny because last night, because like, I didn't notice this until last night. But last night, I realized that my friends, when it comes to us, staying up late, like 2, 3 o'clock, they won't see it in the morning. They used to, but now that we talking about it downstairs, they should consider it that they won't see it to me. They say it's 2 o'clock for 3. Like, but we had another friend party last night, and he had made the mistake to get in the morning. And so, me being who I am and trying to be a light to my friends, I was like, I don't know about in the morning, but it is, I'm gonna be there. At that time, it was 30. I put that in there. And then my friends, they knew what was coming. They was like, here we go. I just started laughing. And then, the guy I was talking to, he actually ended up agreeing with me. And so, since he agreed with me, and we was go back and forth and agreeing, my friends shared that. I think they was in the a little bit too. So we kind of like, I think I rubbed up on it. I was glad, for a second to be able to speak something to him. And then, earlier this week, I forget when we learned, but we learned to, as far as the music we play, we learned to play the music about, shooting this guy, things like that. And, I see it to the next level this week. I know my friends that still know that stuff. So, I told him that he keep that it on, and I was like, I can't be hearing that. And so he was like, well, you have to be on mute. And I can tell he was joking about it, but it was like, we go there sometimes. So I put him on mute. But I put him on mute. He got mad because I really put him on mute. Yeah, he was so salty. And so then when he played his music, he just muted himself. And I'm like, what you going on? You want to be here too? And he's like, nah, you don't want to hear this. He's like, nah, you don't want to hear this. I'm bumping that stuff. You don't want to hear it. So I just found it real funny. I got to be the lights to my friends this week. And I just been really enjoying it. And then my question, I'll ask the question. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So it just had me thinking, if something big is going on, and it is almost that time, what am I doing that maybe I haven't realized I'm messing up? So when I start thinking, I just all this, we got to reflect and, try to figure out what I'm doing, what I'm messing up with. And I couldn't think of that. But when I thought about it, I was like, every man, it says every man is raised his own life. So I figured I should come to class and ask, what are some little things that we do we may not know is actually we're for the things that we learned being in this land that it's supposed to be okay, but it's most not out of time. Oh, yeah.
Hallelujah.
Anybody else have a question they want to introduce at this time? As well. Jason, there he is. Before we get started. Yes, ma'am.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
I wanted to just ask a question. I know y'all all heard of the little boy, the little rapper.
Nas X.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I know y'all have been seeing like what's been in the news lately. That he's pregnant.
Did he what?
Now he's saying that he's pregnant. I don't know how old the child is.
Oh, 22, 26, something like that.
This is very disturbing to me.
It is. I didn't even know that.
Yes, he has his pictures going around on social media. He got the stomach, and it's just crazy because I heard another rapper, Boosie.
Mm-hmm.
Another rapper, Boosie, he was commenting, not just Nas, that little boy, but all of the whole everything that's just like an abomination, just especially to our children. It's just crazy because people he was basically he's against it. Boosie, he's against it, and he don't play around with it. He has nothing nice to say about it, and I totally agree. And it's crazy because society is so messed up because basically people were basically like saying to him, they just was actually just saying to him like point blank like he was wrong for what he was saying, and he's speaking for the children too because he has children, and I just really think it's wrong for man or woman, to make it seem like it's okay, like it's all right, like this is how God made me, and and then when you speaking against it, you like you look okay, but that's what you wanna think, I know better, that's what you do, it's like bashing us for
Being heterosexual.
being humans, like who being who the Most High made us. He made Yaron a man. He made Yaron a boy. So Yaron is growing up to be a man. He made him a baby boy. He's growing up to be a man. If all the men that's on that side, boys and all, just like all the women are on this side, we born as little girls and we grow up to be women, not nothing else. He don't make mistakes. He don't say, "Oops, I accidentally gave you this gender and you're supposed to be that." So now you're this. He don't do that, you know. So for ones who out there who just against us, ones who are serious about it, like, you know, this is an abomination, and we, I'm just gonna pray for y'all. I just feel like we should just pray for them, because me personally, I think something wrong with you yourself. If you are all up for your son walking around your house dressed like a woman and talking about he a girl, and or your daughter says she a guy and she had boxers on and she cut her hair off and all of this, then I'm gonna pray for you too, because you know you have the same mental illness that your child has. Hallelujah.
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 Mental illness is a serious disease.
It is.
Yes, it's real.
And I'm not even joking. I'm not playing. I'm trying to be funny.
I don't. So much the same often, and I tell them mental illness is real out here. So it has to be real to see what people are doing.
So okay, go ahead. What do you think that the punishment is? There a punishment for the person? You know, like this child Nas, he has, you know, he is with a you know, like a manager, and he has all these adults around him. That yeah, he an adult too, but he has these, you know, he got different, you know, basically elders around him. He in his 20s, and he got people that's 20 and 30 years older than him. Is there, you know, a punishment for those who, you know, I don't know if you understand my question.
Push the agenda of evilness, or
yes.
push the agenda of wicked,
to
lead people astray, or promote.
yeah, especially when you know that it's like you like they're, I don't know the word for it, but it's
Yes, and scriptures.
oh yeah.
Yes, I understand your question completely. And they call many words, but one thing they are also influences. We gonna deal with that.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. So yes, we gonna deal with all of this, because what? It's a sad state. Yes, sir, young man. You had hands up again.
Yeah. I
Shabbat shalom.
I've been through that before, but because I said I was against it in this little group I used to run with. I told them I was against it, but you know I don't say nothing unless you ask. That way I'm not, you know, because you're gonna do what you want to do either way. So I see no reason for myself out there, you know, end up in a predicament because you being goofy. You asked them, tell you. And that, in this particular saying, they had something was said, and I couldn't help myself, so I said something. And you know, I learned that they call us homophobic. If we're against it, I learned they call us homophobic. Like we're scared of people that do that. That's how they consider it.
I'm scared though.
Yes, sir. They try to label you and shame and many things, and turn the tide. That's why the Creator says in the book, of Isaiah. Let's go to the book of Isaiah. We're gonna deal with some scriptures. and we're going to deal with the Almighty One.
Isaiah.
Talking with brothers earlier, and before you go to Isaiah, we're going to deal with some scriptures. The scriptures we're going to deal with is going to be surrounded by context of woe.
Whoa.
Woe. W-O-E. Woe. That's what we're going to deal with. So write that down, however you process it, you at home, write that down as you're heading. Woe. Again, W-O-E. But before we get into that, let's go to Isaiah. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. And see, many people, believe it or not, and now this is starting to formulate where I'm going all over the place. But believe it or not, mental illness is real. I stated earlier. But let me tell you what's worse.
Ecclesiastes.
Let me tell you what's worse than mental illness. That's very real. And that is spiritual illness. That's spiritual death. And what the wicked have done in this world is killed a lot of people and their spirits. That is the war that Daniel reflects on in the book of Daniel, where he said, and they shall make war. This fourth beast shall make war with the saints of the Most High, and he shall prevail until the time of Yah's coming. He shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Everything he does and has been doing has been to wear out the saints of the Most High. This is what Daniel, being the end time prophet of the scriptures, is able to convey. Now I say that because Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 1. Don't mind, brother. Read down to verse 10.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1.
Actually, verse 11.
Verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Hallelujah. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities.
So we already know who this is talking about, because who's the son of David?
Solomon.
King in Jerusalem. After David's reign. That's right. Solomon. Solomon, his son. So these are his words.
Vanity of vanities, said the preacher. Vanity of vanities. All is vanity.
And
What?
it is. A lot of things are vain. In the long run, a lot of things are vain. A lot of things we live in for. A lot of things we aspire for. A lot of things we chasing. In this lifetime, they're vain. They're vain. You ask those people, like say, not to make fun of them. Of course, I'm not doing that. But you ask those people in New Orleans, hard-hit lands of Mississippi and Alabama. You ask them in New Jersey and New York for all the advancements that they have, for all the great buildings that Jersey was on, they asked him, they said, do you think you told the people and gave the people enough warning? And he said, we told them everything. He said, we shouted from the hills. We made the message clear with the information that was given to us that this was going to be a bad storm and it was going to be flooding. He said, but I'm going to also confess. He said, I don't think it's anything that we could have told them to prepare them for this.
Oh, God.
Because it's nothing you could have told me to prepare me for this. We totally missed it. We knew it was going to be some flood. We knew the storm was the remnants of the storm, but we totally missed to what magnitude
Yes, sir.
this was going to happen.
Yes, sir.
We totally missed that main streets of New Jersey, main thoroughfares, would be flooded with water up to people's hips. They got pictures where people are walking the streets of New Jersey, New York, and the water is up to their hips. They had no conceptuality that things would be like that. They just thought a little flooding where, you know, maybe the little sewer, you see it just, you know, flood like, but they had no idea how bad it could be. They were taken off guard. For every advanced system that they had that can show you this and show you, they taken off guard. Now watch the way it works in reverse. Because here they told people, they said, well, we're going to still have our little festival and we're going to celebrate for Labor Day, but you can't put no boats. And this was government mandated. You can't put no boats down there on that river because the river is going to be crested too high, the Ohio River. So we can't put no boats out. Well, now, guess what? Come Monday, you can put all the boats out there you want to because the crest ain't going to be high at all.
They think.
No, it's not.
You with this?
The water has went somewhere else, and they can't even tell you where it's went.
Man.
They can't even tell you what tributary it went to or how it got diverted. All they know is the way it's tracking, the crest is not supposed to be nowhere near what they thought it was going to be.
On the heels of the storm coming.
Now, why? Because who only have all of this at their disposal?
Yahweh.
One brother talked to me, said, man, they showed pictures of a cow up in the tree after the storm. Wasn't dead, but it was lodged up in the tree. Huh?
I don't know how they're going to do that one.
He lodged up in the tree. He said, what the? All of this is the will of the Creator. And I'm making this statement because if you don't think that there is, if you don't think that there is a Creator, let me be a spokesman of his and tell you right now, it behooves you. It really behooves you to reevaluate your position. That's my first thing. I'm not saying you have to, but it behooves you to evaluate your position. Because let me tell you what, I heard also one of the web people on the news said this, and he might have just been a state, he was an official. He said, this right here. He didn't say this was science. He didn't say this was random act of nature. He said, this right here is a biblical proportion. In other words, he said, we ain't seen
Nothing like
this.
Ever.
And our science can't break this down. This right here is a biblical proportion. And you say, and that's just a storm that can pass Hear me when I'm talking. I'm not minimizing, but that's a storm that can pass over 2-3 days time, and you will sit there and say you can't believe the Bible, you can't believe Noah's Ark story, you can't believe that happened. That it said it could rain for 40 days.
All
In
right.
2 days,
In
3
2
days time,
3 days.
look at what happened in
Yes,
the
sir.
decimation
Yes,
of life.
sir. Hallelujah. So
And
many
the
examples.
scriptures say there's 40 days non-stop of continual rain, day and night. And we will have the audacity to say it. That's just a fairy tale. Look at what the Almighty is showing you He can do in less than 40 days and 40 nights.
And it's flooded.
And it's flooded, and it's still flooded.
Hallelujah.
And we take the Almighty as if He's nothing. Well, that's because that's part of that spiritual war that they have waged.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 1.
And before we go there, then they say, well, you know, we think it's global warming. And let me tell you something, I believe they're right. Because I believe in global warming.
Yep, I know what it is. Exactly what it is.
That's right, but I know what global warming is. Before we go to Ecclesiastes, I know what global warming is.
Yes, sir.
As one of my brothers was talking about the fires in California that they can't put out. The fires all over this world. Because not just the United States where fires is burning. One of the brothers have all stated there's fire in Russia, Siberia.
Yes, sir.
One of the coldest places on earth.
Got a fire.
And it's got a fire that has burnt up more land mass than all the fires around the world combined.
Shalom. Rise. For your
Rise
elders. Rise for your elders. Shalom.
Can
you see it?
Is it global warming? Yes, it is. Sure, I believe in global warming. Does the scriptures call it global warming? No.
No.
Let me show you what the scriptures call it. Hold Ecclesiastes. We're gonna touch and go. Go to the book of Deuteronomy. And see, I want you to be able to talk to people with their science. It's global warming. Yes, I believe in it, but the scriptures don't call it that. Let me show you what the scriptures do call it. And then we can show how we work all this together.
Deuteronomy. Hallelujah.
30th chapter.
Deuteronomy chapter 30.
Because it's always been. Let me tell you something. Hurricanes have always been.
Yes, sir.
That's why in the scripture they talk about the tempest. A tempest is a storm. And a windstorm. And a hurricane is a windstorm that comes over water. And that's what brings water with it. But it's a windstorm. So super. So there's hurricanes, there's tornadoes. That's what they call them today. But these things have always existed. Earthquakes. They've always existed. You can read about earthquakes in scriptures. Famine and pestilence. They've always existed.
Yes, sir.
You can read about them in scriptures. Fire. Burning. You can read about it in scriptures. So they always have been. But what people are starting to understand is something is up though, because they've never been to the intensity. What has changed? What is it looking like today? Well, what it's looking like today, when I was a young man his age, I could remember them always talking about fighting fires in California.
Yep.
When I was a young man your age, I can remember earthquakes. I can remember an earthquake that stopped the 1990 World Series. Show it right on TV. You can see it right on TV as they were playing. You saw the camera just boom, boom. And you saw the bridges. It looked like something out of Doctor Strange, the way they were just bending and giving. So these things have always been. Hurricanes have always been. Tornadoes have always been. I've never been fascinated with the Midwest too much. Iowa and Nebraska. Who want to live up there? Because I've always known and seen hurricanes.
Yeah.
When you go down, who want to move to Florida and all them kind of
Hurricanes.
beautiful, but when they get violent and the storm come, they not so beautiful. Because these things have always existed, but now what is happening is the intensity, the ferocity in which they are coming. And they're coming, and why? Why is the intensity of it turned up? And the veracity of it turned up? What I'll show you. The scripture will show you. Deuteronomy 30th chapter.
Yes, sir.
Why is it global warming? Because of Deuteronomy 30th chapter, what the Almighty's great servant said to Israel in the 16th through the 19th verse.
Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 16. In that I command thee this day to love Yahweh thy Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, and his statutes, and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply, and Yahweh thy Elohim shall bless thee.
Now underline that commandments. I command you to keep his commandments. Because I'm going to speak to something, because I'm aware of the controversy in the rap field. There's certain rappers picking on this young rapper and singling him out and speaking against him. But in doing so, there is a caveat and a fault there that we're going to find. For Moses said, what? I command you to what?
I commanded thee this day to love Yahweh thy Elohim.
Love Yahweh thy Elohim.
To walk in his ways.
Walk in his ways.
To keep his commandments.
His commandments.
And his statutes.
And his statutes.
And his judgments.
And his judgments.
That thou mayest live.
That you might live.
And multiply.
And multiply.
And Yahweh thy Elohim shall bless thee.
And when you do that, he will what?
He will bless thee in the land whether thou goest to possess it.
He will bless you in the land where you go to possess it. But now, I don't know about nobody else. I don't want him just to bless me in the land that I go to possess. I want to be blessed everywhere I'm at by the Almighty.
Hallelujah.
But if you listen to some people, they only wait to be blessed in the land.
Yes, sir.
Because he said he's going to bless you in the land where you go to possess it. Well, then you shouldn't be looking to be blessed here or everywhere else.
You should be looking to catch all the drama.
You should be looking for just nothing but the curse.
Nothing but the curse.
And maybe you are, and that's why you got a curse in mind, and that's why you talk so bad about keeping the Almighty commandments.
Hallelujah. Because y'all ain't a liar.
For the blessing.
Because Yahweh not a liar.
You only looking for the curse. And surely that's all we're looking for.
That's what you got.
And that's what the Almighty will feed us.
Hallelujah.
But I want to be blessed.
Yes, sir. But if thy heart turn away.
Now look at this, everybody. And that's what I hope if you're following. I pray to y'all, you have your scriptures. We're in where? Deuteronomy 30th chapter.
Verse 17. Deuteronomy 30, verse 17. But if thy heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other deities and serve them.
If your heart turn away, so that you won't hear, but you should be what? Drawn away.
Drawn away.
As my sister asked, that means you can be influenced. If somebody come and tell you that you're doing ain't right, come over here. This is better. That's what he means by drawn away. Drawn away means you can be influenced. What will you be? And you can be influenced by many things. And our people have been influenced by many things. Many things. Sports have influenced us.
Yes, sir.
Entertainment have influenced. Big movie stars influenced us. The promise of riches and fame and fortune. And your life can be so much better when you get all these millions of dollars. That have influenced us. But ask them people quietly who have those millions of dollars. Ask them if it saved them from divorce court. No. Ask them if it saved them from domestic violence. No. Huh?
No.
Get shot in your foot by another head. Just shoot bow. Now you can't dance.
Can't cut a rug like
Now you got a restraining order against them where they ain't even supposed to be in the same concert that you was at, but they did show up there.
Mm.
Ask them if it stopped them from getting their house broken into.
Nope.
Got all these riches and millions of dollars, but while you out fighting a fight boxing, somebody did a home invasion and broke in your house. With all your technology, your Ring cameras, your Bling cameras, your Ding cameras, and all other kind of cameras. Somebody broke in your house.
Still violated.
Ask them if all that money can help you when you suffer from debilitating diseases like ex-football players are having. One young man, they showing all how their brains are just messed up. And it drives them crazy. All that you have to realize all that button,
yes, sir.
all that head button.
Need the something.
I saw a program one time, and like I said, I don't speak against football. I'll be a hypocrite because I watch it. It's entertainment. I don't watch it like I used to because it don't mean as much to me now. But I got other things I can be doing, but I still occasionally watch it. But I'm understanding that's the growth in me. Back then, it was ooh. But now, I'm like, boy, I'm so glad I did. I watched the program. They said the equivalent of one game is like you going down. The man said you go down and you run into a garage. Just run into a garage nonstop, 30 times. You just run head forward full speed and crash into the garage. He said, and you do that about 30 to 50 times. He said, then after you do that, see how your body feels. Another football player himself said, this is the closest thing to assaulting somebody and not get arrested.
It's like being in a car accident.
It's like being in multiple car accidents
in
one day.
Yes, sir.
All these things they have developed.
Fractures, abrasions, nerve damages. Everything.
Nerve damage? Nerve damage.
Everything.
If you know anything about every time you make impact, there's damages to your nerve. The nerves run all through your body.
You got that constant tingling.
So later in life, when you like, man.
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
That's them years.
Yes, sir.
Them unexplained pain. Man, I never did. That's them years.
Yes, sir.
See, there's a price for everything. For everything. There's a price. Huh? Basketball. Well, it's not as important. No, it's not. But there's a reason why men have knee replacements.
Yes, sir.
There's a reason why the hips and the back
always go back.
As you get older, it gets stiff.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Because the knee bone connected to the thigh bone.
Yes,
the thigh
sir.
bone connected to the
hip bone.
Hip bone connected to the backbone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hallelujah.
Make it simplified. And when you jump, all that is called shock because you don't define gravity.
No.
Maybe for a second, but gravity, he said, come on back down here.
And we ain't got shock resistance
and
like
when you come back down, all that goes through your joints. And you're doing that with great ferocity, great force over the course of years. Huh? Body, at the point, body gonna say, I got to check you out. I got to check you out. I say that because that's the realism while we are wondering and balancing which way to go in life. A lot of times, young men will say, "When I'll do this, then I'll come back to the Creator." There is no you choose this over
that. That's right.
So what will we be influenced by other than Yah? Well, right now there are a lot of things. Let me tell you that young man, I don't know who around him, but I know they ain't worth nothing.
Not enough.
And I know they definitely don't care about him, because if they did, he would not be doing what he's doing and exhibiting the behavior he's exhibiting. They are clearly only doing one thing, and that is the wicked using this young man to influence other young people.
Yes, sir.
Into a hellacious and destructive type of way of living. That's all they are doing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
You will bring up the rest. That's all they are doing. Nothing more, nothing less. And we're going to address that. But, and here's where I make the caveat. But you lose a little steam trying to jump on him.
Yes, sir.
And what he's doing that's being destructive to young people, when you yourself made a choice to get in the business, and you yourself, when you made your choice to get in the business, allow yourself to be used to make music that's just as destructive to your people.
Yes, sir.
When
Can't
you
argue
talk
that.
about shooting and murdering and killing and all the stuff you doing, when you have videos showing women in scantily clad attire, if any attire at all, and you talking about all you doing is running through them and they don't mean nothing to you.
Yes, sir.
You have very little room.
Be pointing
To be
the
the
finger.
spokesman.
Yes, sir.
To
Hallelujah.
be the spokesman against wickedness. When we will jump and swim in the same part of the pool as everybody else will. And that's why Moses said, I command you that you keep his what?
Commandments.
Commandments. Not good. I keep one of them, but you're doing everything else. I keep two, but you're doing everything else. No, Moses said the commandments, the what?
And his statutes.
Statutes.
And his judgment.
And his judgments.
That thou mayest live and multiply. And Yahweh thy Elohim shall bless thee in the land, whether thou goest to possess it.
Because when we start cherry picking, that's when every man is doing whatsoever is right in his own eyes.
Yes, sir.
And leaning to his own understanding. Well, I can get with this, but I can't get with that. I do this, but I can't do that. Well, I haven't read in the scripture where the Almighty say he wants you to pick and decide arbitrarily what is right for you. The word is to keep the commandments. He'll let us know when, where, the how, and everything, but keep the commandments. That's his word. For he said, if thy heart turn away.
But if thy heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shall be drawn away, and worship false gods, and serve them, I denounce unto you this day, that ye shall surely perish, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land, whether thou passest over Jordan to go to possess it.
Now, I ain't forgot about global warming. I know people probably saying, well, what happened to global warming? Here it comes right here. Go ahead.
I call heaven.
Because I call what?
Heaven.
I call what?
Heaven and earth.
And earth.
To record this day against you.
Itself. That's why I always teach man is part of creation. He has to come and realize that. Because these are the two greatest witnesses that always called against us. They're greater than any man you can call. When Moses gave his witnesses, he said, I call what?
Heaven
and what?
And earth.
And earth.
To record this day
to be
against you.
Witness against you.
That I have set before you life and death.
That there's life and death.
Blessing. And cursing.
He showed me a society where the moral fabric is shot to shreds. And I'm going to show you a society that's on its way out. It's on its way out. Now, I understand scripture. That's why the Almighty said, I'm going to go down to Sodom and see if the cry of it is to the degree that I know it is. Because it's so bad, they are so morally corrupt. So morally corrupt. You can do anything there. There are no lines of demarcation. There are men that want men, women that want women, men that want children, men that's with beasts. There are no lines of demarcation in this wicked place. They even wanted, that's why this testimony is there. They even wanted my angelic sons. They even wanted angels to be whorish and doggish and animalistic with it. Angels, old men and young men, because that's what it says. So I have no other recourse. Remember I said last week, sometimes things are beyond repair. And that's what the Creator saw. He said, I have no recourse but to bring out the righteous. And as we see from the story, it wasn't very many.
No, sir.
And destroy everybody else. Destroy it with a destruction that to this day they so-called still recognize, because to this day there is a place in that region that they say no life can even be sustained. To this day, there's still a stone, and one of my brothers said that you can go and you can crack open. Because yes, when he said fire and brimstone, he meant fire and brimstone because there's a stone you can go and crack open. To this day, you light it, and it lights and it burns, it burns, it burns. And there is no composition of that stone anywhere on earth in the periodic table. Proof that it came from somewhere else.
Oh, God.
And we don't believe this is real. Right. Again, I'm not to convince you, but it behooves you to reevaluate and reassess your stance on scriptures in the Almighty Word for yourself. What destroyed Pompeii? Anybody in here know about Pompeii? Yes, and he erected a city after him, named Pompeii. The city of Pompeii.
It wasn't hill.
The city of Pompeii was a great metropolis. Was a great Roman metropolis at its time. Very bustling, huge, built under the shadow of Mount Vesuvius, which is a big volcano. And that's the one that erupted.
That was the
but
hill.
just like today's time, just like Sodom and Gomorrah, when you understand Pompeii, there was nothing that you couldn't do there in Rome. Get you, if you was a man, you get you a little boy. There was murder, there was mayhem, there was corruption in government. There was a moral castaway of society. And anytime we have scriptural evidence, we have historical evidence, and anytime this takes place, then there must be and there will be a purge. There will be. There will be. And two of the greatest things that will enforce the Almighty's judgment, because men often won't do it. But two of the greatest things that will do, because it only answers to the prayer. And that is heaven, and that is earth.
Hallelujah.
That's heaven.
Yeah. Yes,
So
sir.
you can call it global warming. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But what it is it's heaven and it's earth rebelling against the wickedness of man. Against the wickedness of man. So we can be wrapped up in that wickedness if we want to. And think it's all right. But again, there's a price for everything. And the salvation of Yahweh is offered free. It's offered free. Look at Deuteronomy 31.
Deuteronomy chapter 31,
Verse 25.
verse 25. Hallelujah.
Start at 24, actually, brother.
Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 24. And it came to pass, when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book until they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites, which bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, saying, take this book of the law and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, your Elohim, that it may be there for a witness against thee. For I know thy rebellion and thy stiff neck. Behold.
And they say, we don't have Torah. But this book is still witness, even with it being in the hands of the enemy, it's still witnessing to everything that the Almighty had Moses speak.
Yes, sir.
And to every good promise that he made. This book is still witnessing to it. For as it says in the book of 20, in the 24th verse, and it came to pass when Moses made an end of writing the words of this law in a book until they were finished, until everything that he was given was finished. And he wanted it there because this is what the Almighty wanted Israel to know for the time to come. And he said, what?
For I know thy rebellion
I know your rebellion.
and thy stiff neck.
I know how you get stiff-necked. You'll hear it and you'll get mad at them that's teaching you this. You'll get mad at them that's really trying to show you favor from Yah. You'll get upset. You'll get stiff-necked. You'll talk about, that end, he don't know what he's talking about. I can't get with that. I don't believe all that. Moses said, I know it because they was doing it then in the presence of Moses and the Almighty. I'm nowhere near Moses. Don't know no teacher that was.
All right.
How much more so stiff-necked and rebellious? You talking about people that saw pillar by day, pillar of fire by night.
Yes, sir.
Saw everything that we only read about, and their rebellion was constant. Moses said, I know it, and I know it ain't going nowhere.
Behold, while I'm yet alive with you this day, ye have been rebellious against Yahweh, and how much more after my death?
Not against teachers, not against leaders, not against parents. You've been rebellious against the Most High.
Hallelujah.
And how much will you cut up when I'm gone? Because I'm an influence. See, there's good influence and bad influence. I'm an influence. And sometimes as long as the influence is there, that's when you're going to do the right thing or the wrong thing. But remove the influence. One of my children, he excelled during homeschooling because he didn't have the influences. So it made me question, should I even put him back in the classroom? Because in the classroom, there's 30 kids. I saw with my own eyes. All of them running around, jumping on walls. You get 2 of them to sit down, there's 10 of them over here, they up. And all this is an influence. I don't want to be the oddball out. And that don't go nowhere. You as adults, peer pressure don't go nowhere.
Sure don't.
Man, they look at me like I'm a square. I tell them I don't get down like that, they don't. I got to mingle. This ain't really even me. My son, we was talking, young man, he grew up with it. So I seen all of them. I seen them grow up. They played football. I told the class the other week, young man dead. He dead. Home invasion, shot him, killed him, murdered. And I got speaking with him, I said, everything though, all these young men, they not the thugs or the gangsters that you think they are. They trying to hang with people.
Yes, sir.
They trying to front like they are. But that ain't really them.
It ain't. So true, Moray. So true.
That ain't really them. But to save face, so nobody talk about them. Or because they can't find the multitude of people that will accept them for being who they are. I'll kick it with them. But evilness and wickedness, and it don't have no options. When they come, something that wasn't even meant for you. And I tell my boy, nah, you be selective who you hang with.
Hallelujah.
If you don't care for nobody else but yourself, you be selective who you hang with. You be selective who you put in your car. You be selective who you bring in your house.
So true.
You be selective who you let in your life.
So true. Teach that. Teach, Moray.
In this day and time. Don't have to believe me.
Wickedness running amok.
Don't hang, but don't feel like you got to hang with people, especially when you know what they're about. And they ain't about nothing. They ain't about this. I ain't saying you got to snub your nose and look down, but they ain't about this. Because I'm telling you in jeopardy.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
They
companion
seek
of
the
fools
righteous.
will be destroyed.
They seek the righteous to slaughter them.
But the Creator said, and Moses said, I have been alive, and I know your rebellion, and how you have rebelled against Yah. And how much more will you do after my death?
Gather unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears, and call heaven and earth to record against them. For I know that after my death ye will utterly corrupt yourselves and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you, and evil will befall you in the latter days, because ye will do evil.
What did he say?
Because ye will do evil.
Read that all over again.
For I know after my death,
After my death,
you will utterly corrupt yourselves
you'll totally act a fool.
and turn aside from the way which I commanded you.
If with my own eyes I can see that you ain't trying to get it right now while I'm alive and with you, I know what you're going to do once I'm gone. I know what you're going to do.
And evil will befall you in the latter days.
Like I said, if you won't believe me, believe Moses. He said, "In evil."
Will.
Wouldn't believe Moses, and that's why we here right now where we at. Because the
Oh,
word
yeah.
of Yah was going to come to pass. And all this evil that we do experience, that's why it's happening to us. They got, oh, we good. We in the land. But where you at today? So much evil has befallen, we want to make America the land of promise.
No, sir. And evil will befall you in the latter days.
Yes.
Because ye will do evil in the sight of Yahweh.
Yes.
To provoke him to anger.
Yes.
Through the work of your hands.
Do what you and I are doing. So to your question, young man, it don't matter if you, in this case, in righteousness, it don't matter if you can't really think about nothing. Make up something. You see, when you at the top of your game and you don't think your game can improve no more, that's when your game gonna go down. None of the greats ever get to the top and say, "Well, I can't think of nothing that's wrong."
Hallelujah.
They go search. If it ain't nothing, that pass wasn't good. Man, that's one pass out of 1,000 you done threw in your career. I know, but I might have to throw that same pass again.
Gotta work on it.
Don't nobody even know about that. See, you just got rings in it. I know, but I do.
All right.
But the moment he said, "Yeah, I can't get no better than this," he can't. Look at where he go.
Down.
Decline.
Start diminishing.
Start diminishing. So when you're on top, that's when you go to the, as they say, the next level. You don't rest.
Get up an hour earlier.
Yeah, you put more in. That's why you see guys, they'll win championship, they'll win belt in boxing, they'll win, then they get punished the next time out. Get beaten the next week. Say, what happened to him?
Got relaxed.
We got on top. Don't train. Don't make sacrifices. Don't look at things the same way. Eat anything. Hang out all night. What he rank? He fifth rank individual. Who think he gonna touch me? He ranked fifth? I can do him in my sleep. Fight night come, get punished. Get punished. Buster Douglas, I was just here saying. Buster Douglas, when he fought Mike Tyson, he had a lot going on, but he was hungry. He was training, he was running, he was doing everything. So when he got in there that night, he was at the top, and you could tell by the way he was fighting. But once he took that one shot, I said, "Oh, I told you." I said, "It's a wrap. Nobody won't believe me." But he had the formula. He had the knowledge. He had the wisdom. He had everything, and he had the desire. Once he beat him, next fight out,
Whoa.
got nobody in fear. Not like if you're tight, beat him into next week leading back into his mama's kitchen, because that's where he
That's
went.
how he wanted to fight.
That's where he went. Jack went to his mama's kitchen. After that, never fought again.
He go to
Loomed
mama
up to
kitchen.
over 300 some pounds and beat him out of boxing
The mama was gone.
in a couple of rounds. But what was the difference? He got on top. What was the difference? They tell you, he'll tell you, man, I didn't train, I didn't run.
Only did that for
Everything
my mama.
I did to get up there, I ain't do none of that.
All of it.
Which is what you have to do, and even then some,
Yes, sir.
once you on top. So yes, and that's part of righteousness. They never satisfied. They look and say, "Oh, that was a mistake." Just tell your testimony. Y'all's good. And I tell you this, like I said, I don't toot my own horn. You think of me because you still think of me what you want, and I'm a fault. But this week, I went to the hardware store, and I thought it was good. I praise y'all for it. It was in my spirit. Went to the hardware store and I was at the paint department. They were making up some paint, but while I was there, it was a couple there buying paint. So I started talking to them because they trying to figure out how to get paint stuff, what they should get, and I'm talking to them. And I said, yeah, you do this, X, Y, Z, blah, 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 blah. So the lady said, well, I got you finished here, go your paint. I grabbed the paint, turned around, and I said, all right, I hope y'all have good luck with your paint. And I walked right out the store. Walked right out the store. Can in hand, nobody said nothing. Can in hand, everything. My son, the youngest, he with me, he sleep. He had the counter while she wake up. I said, stay with me, son. So my mind on that too. I want to get him home and get him in the bed because he looked like he's walking dead in the store. But walk right out. Yeah. One right turn from my driveway. And I said, wait a minute, something ain't right. Then I hit my pocket. I said, and I went in and said, ooh, you ain't even pay for that. Now they ain't put no APB out on me. They didn't even chase me out the store. I had about 10 minutes to get back up there, and I'm 10 minutes from my house. I whipped that vehicle around, drove back up there. They have locked the doors. The doors automatically. They've locked the doors. I asked the attendant outside, I said, hey, can I get in? I said, man, I got this paint. I ain't paid for it. He looking like,
oh, why you come back?
yeah. Come up with me, man. What you got a little screw. That's how he look at me like, what you want me to do? He said, well, they getting ready to go in Thursday. He said, if you can get in with them, you can go in. And that's what I did. I waited on them to slide the door open. They looking back at me like, what you trying to come here? Rob us or nah? I said, I got the paint. I ain't paid for it. I went all the way back up there. All the way back in line. Paid for it. I said, I had this paint. I ain't paid for it. Everybody. Now, I didn't do it for him. Tell you the truth, I ain't even do it because I feared the Almighty was going to knock me off a ladder or nothing like that. If I would have kept it. I did it because as soon as I realized what had happened, something within me said, that's not what you do.
Hallelujah.
That's not what you do. And we're not even going to wait till tomorrow. Because a part of me said, well, I'll wait till tomorrow. No, we're not even going to wait till tomorrow. We're not going to let this night pass without you going back. Now, that takes many years of trial, tribulation, and failing to come to that kind of understanding.
Yes, sir.
And that's why I said you never rest. Because there's always something. You can find something that you always want to improve on in life. You can always find something. Always. That's why the scriptures say commune with your own heart upon your bed. And I'm sure if you do that, you'll find something.
Hallelujah.
You'll find something. You'll find that promise that you made to somebody and didn't deliver, whether it was your fault or not. And you say to yourself, but man, my word means so much. So tomorrow, I find out a fault. Now, can you find a commandment? You did not keep your promise. What's the judgment? You should not speak a word again. Nah, he didn't. But these are the little things. Huh? Because y'all, we talk about the little things. Well, that's a little thing. Because y'all never make a promise that he don't what? He don't keep. And we trying to be like y'all. So we don't want to say stuff that we, one, incapable of delivering on, or just won't deliver on. If we say it, we want to what? Mean it. Huh? Makes sense? Huh?
Hallelujah.
And if you get that chance to correct it, because sometimes you don't get that chance to correct it. But let me tell you something. If you have what they call a conscience, that's not correcting it, it's going to haunt you. It's going to haunt you. But it called heaven and earth. Get a little bit of that fresh air in here. Starting to sweat like monkey. They can't hear me no more? All right, let's change it. Yeah, what we're going to get to work out. Going out.
Hallelujah. Oh, this is better than it.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Who want to? Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
This is let's continue on. Deuteronomy 32, verse 1. What does that say?
Give ear, all ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth.
See how Moses keep calling the heaven and earth? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then look at finally dealing with heaven and earth, look at Isaiah. So I want people to understand this. This is what's coming up. This is why things are coming upon us. The intensity of storms, the frequency of storms, and other things that's written in this book will come upon us, and it's coming upon us because of the wickedness of man and his rebellion. Yes, this was written to Israel, but Israel was to teach everybody the way of the Almighty. So if we don't know the way and won't uphold the way, then what does the other nations have looking forward to? We truly are then a saving grace. Yes, right? Isaiah, the first chapter.
Hallelujah. Isaiah chapter 1.
First and third verses.
The vision of Isaiah, the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah.
Yes.
Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for Yahweh has spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me.
What have they done?
Rebelled against Yah.
Rebelled against the Most High. Go ahead.
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
Now, it's not no coincidence that he started talking about beasts, because he's talking about other things within creation. And he said it's funny that beasts, this part of my creation, they know their master's crib. You own them. They know their crib, especially if you're a good master. I've not seen too many dogs break away from a good master. Dogs you see running down the street and won't come back home, that master wasn't so good. You mistreat him. But if you got a dog or pet animal and you just done shower them with love, most of the time they're not going nowhere. I told you about the 2 occasions I left when I had my shepherd. I left him out. He got out the gate, and I just knew he was gone. The whole while people, oh, he's so pretty. How much you want to sell him? And I just knew he was gone. Even my neighbors, they would call and say, man, the dog was out. Lady said, I tried to get him to come up the street. Not to take him, but I just wanted to get him to come up the street so I could put him in my backyard till I tell you that she said, but he came to the edge of y'all where your grass is at. She said he wouldn't come no further. I looked at him, and he was. I went outside, and I was like, man, one time my sons had left the gate. I said, them rascals done that. They did that on purpose. Got that dog out of here. They scared of him. Now they weak. I'm calling for him. Guess where he at? Right there at the front porch, on the front door, looking at the door. As soon as I called him, boom, he shot around there. That's because from the time I received him, I love him. I love him. He got eggs. Yeah, he ate eggs. Without big eggs, he got eggs. Little sausage. Huh? And I know sausages. It's sausage. Chicken. Not chicken. Chicken.
He ate what I ate.
He ate. I won't go anywhere else, baby. I know my master's crib. Huh?
Yes, sir.
So you treat them right. They know. And the Almighty treat everything in creation right. So they know who to turn to. I tell them the same. The lion, nature is not as violent as people. Man more violent than nature.
Yes, sir.
Lion kill, he ain't gonna kill again for weeks.
First.
Now he might not eat for weeks, but he ain't gonna try once he kill and eat. You can run a whole other thing of gazelle by him every day. He just sit there. He full, he done. Once the Almighty have satisfied it, he's done. Man killed just for the sheer sake of killing.
Yes, sir.
So you tell me who's the animal.
Oh, God.
He destroyed just for the sheer sake of destroying. So you tell me who the beast. Ox knoweth his owner, ass his master's crib. But Israel, yes.
But Israel do not know.
And that's not bad in itself that you don't know something, because that's called ignorance, and everybody ignorant.
My people do not consider.
That's what's bad. They won't even consider. When you won't consider, when you won't even take the time to consider. That's why I teach style. When people bring me something, I don't just say, get out of here. You don't know nothing. Because it might be that they know something, and I'm the one that don't know nothing. I don't know everything. And that's why I accept it, and I say, I accept it. Let's what? Y'all know it.
What I tell you? Let's do what?
Let's look it up.
Let's look at it.
Search. Let's check it out.
Let's check it out. Much as I know that we not to follow Christ, when people bring me something, just get out of here, you darn filthy devil. I said, listen, you got something? You believe he's telling you something? Let's see. You believe that chapter and verse is saying something that the Almighty had not said? Let's see. Beautiful sister came here the other week. She said, "What about that when Peter said you can eat anything?" What do? We went to see if Peter really was saying, or actually really was saying, you can eat anything. And guess what? It wasn't. He wasn't talking about eating it all. People don't consider. You see, when all this stuff, all the things going on in this world around us, we don't stop and consider. See, we won't even stop and consider. Not only was there a hurricane, but there's flooding. But as soon as the hurricane winds left, that temperature down there in New Orleans went right back up to triple digits.
ASAP.
Triple digits. Now what do you have? And you still have flooding because you have water that have wind over it. So what do you have now? Well, you have pestilence.
Yep.
You have diseases. They talking about coronavirus. And everything won't be coronavirus because if anybody know anything, you have pestilence. Because with standing water, you're going to have masses of insects, mosquitoes,
Yes.
conditions for things like malaria. Watch malaria, they won't see, they might not put it out, but I tell you, cases of malaria is going to skyrocket. And all these kind of diseases and things that are aftermath. You had a 70-year-old man, his wife went out because she heard commotion, and she went out to see what was going on, and her husband is in the midst of being attacked by an alligator. Yeah, see, y'all just sit we just see it because we so many miles away. That don't mean nothing to us. But all that water comes with that hurricane. It creates all that flooding. You in Louisiana, it creates conditions where they're in their natural habitat. It creates conditions for that whole area to become their natural habitat. Your living room to be their natural habitat. Your backyard to be their natural habitat. Your basement to become their natural habitat. And he went outside, and the last thing she saw him was him getting chomped on by an alligator, not no baby alligator. Water moccasins. That's what I said earlier. I prayed for his mercy all last week. And I gave thanks. Prayed for his mercy for them, and I gave thanks that we have not tasted any calamity like this. But don't put it in your head that it can't happen. If calamity and destruction is to your west and to your east, guess what? Your north and your south, and guess what? It's only a matter of time. It might not be no fire, might not be no hurricane, but something's coming. Oh, it is. That's just reality. It's not really to say, I hope not. What it is to say is, where will we be? Because the Creator said he knows how to take care of the righteous. That's the question. That when these things come, where will we be? Both spiritually, mentally, and physically. Where will we be? What we've been teaching and what has been taught and what the book has showed us for years. That's why I said, this for me, this is not playtime. And with every day I realize, if you want it to be for you, that's fine. I need you to go somewhere where that's acceptable. But this is not. Because there's things that your eyes see. There's a horizon. There's a sun coming over the horizon that's not been seen. Can't look with just what's here right now. Because tomorrow will bring many changes. In the blink of an eye. And it's not a matter. That's why I said this mental illness is real.
Yes, sir.
People suffer mental, and it's not because they were born that way all the time. It's because life had thrown them many changes.
Yes, sir.
And if one is not spiritually strong, I agree with Al Sharpton. He said, and that's why I said it's the tendency. A lot. That's why I tell our people we don't have to be so vindictive when we're dealing with our people. Because it's not about them. We're trying to get to the truth. I don't have to call you names. I don't have to call you out your name. When I'm talking about Christianity, Islam, I'm simply confirming what is the truth. Because when we start calling people by names and out of their names and stuff like that, we're insulting our grandmothers and grandfathers. That even though they were absorbed a lie, they still had the spiritual fortitude that kept them going. And they did things, that's why they did things and paved the way so that you and I can even enjoy what we enjoy today. But that was through their spiritual and mental fortitude, which is greater than religion. That's why we don't practice religion. We're trying to practice realism, what is spiritual, what is a way of life. This is not church. You have not tuned into church. I know there's some things I've experienced. The only reason why I have a little sanity to still remain is because of the Almighty and His Word. Or I know I've been to a dark where I would be out there lost too. My mental capacity would be shot as well. The only one that have preserved me is my Elohim.
Hallelujah.
From the cradle to the grave. Yeah, what some people have done. That's why the Almighty says in His book, He says, who you give wine to and strong drink? Him that's ready to what? Perish. And him that be of a what? Heavy heart.
Yes, sir.
Because some people have lived with people, and it says some things we know we say sometimes, it's about to make me drive me to drink. I've seen some people that lost their siblings. They can't handle that right then and there. So what they do? Went out and got toasted. In the hopes of forgetting about it. Now don't do nothing when you wake up, it's still there. Huh? It's still there.
Yes, sir. Still there.
But that's their coping mechanism. See, there was a spiritual strength. Not physical, there was a spiritual strength that took the lashes of them whips. And if you do your research, yes, they were in Christianity, but some of the ministers, they still knew who they was. And we're going to teach on that one day. They still knew about their people. Probably in some people, because look at brother, everybody holding him up, look at brother Nat Turner. By all accounts, he's a Christian minister.
Yes, sir.
But he started teaching his people that they were what? They were people of the book.
Yes, sir.
And they weren't supposed to be slaves.
Hallelujah.
when we demean him. No, we just part of the Almighty program to help make the crooked things straight with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's all we doing. I'll tell you what's found even in the New Testament. We said worship only Yahweh. So how you gonna argue against that? We're gonna do a teaching one day. If I were a Christian.
If I were a Christian.
If I were a Christian.
I'll be praising
My
Yahweh.
wife already got it worked out. If I were a Christian.
I'll be praising Yahweh.
Because to be a Christian means to be Christ-like. So
Hallelujah.
if I were a Christian, first thing I'll be doing, I'll be serving Yah and Yah. If I were a Christian.
Hallelujah.
If I were a Christian, second thing I'll be doing, I'll be keeping the Sabbath day.
Hallelujah.
If I was a Christian.
Yes, sir.
If I was a Christian, I believe in all the commandments of Yah. If I was a Christian.
All right. Hallelujah.
To be Christ-like, because that's what Christ taught.
Hallelujah.
Let's get back to whoa.
Isaiah.
But we can see that, yes, global warming is very real because it's not called global warming in Scripture. It's called heaven and earth witnessing against the children of Israel. And not only the children of Israel, it's witnessing against man for the wickedness that man is committing. And that's why I said, let's go now. And that's why I said we're going to look at a few scriptures that talk about woe. And the first one we're going to look at is found in the book of Isaiah, the 30th chapter.
Isaiah chapter 30.
Yes, sir. Good question. Mm-hmm. Well, it's definitely a possibility because when you look at ancient maps versus, and that's another thing, what man called progress, the Almighty don't call progress because they disturb some boundaries. That's why he always offered that challenge, or he offered that challenge in the book of Jeremiah and said, if they can find out the foundations of the earth, because it's not just a matter if they can know the foundations of the earth, it's what would they do with this knowledge? And what they would do is they would do more damage and harm. And the Almighty says, if they do this, so shall the seed of Israel. Because that's been their end game as well, to always find out a way of getting rid of the holy seed. And so that's why he says they'll never be able to do that, because if they can do that, then they can get rid of Israel. And I will never let them have that kind of power. So yes, the earth is going to want to come back to itself. And even in scriptures it says that in the days of Peleg, and I forget the other gentleman, it said the earth was divided. So the earth has always been in flux. The earth is alive, right? So it's always in flux. But men in their wickedness contribute to things. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. That is not only possible, that is so. Because we can see that today, that people are becoming more conscious and health conscious. I've noticed that I'm hearing of more older people living to their hundreds, in their 90s. My mother just informed me this week, because it slipped my mind. I have an aunt that's approaching 100 years old. Another aunt, she's in her 90s, right behind her. The rest of them, yeah, my mother is approaching the ripe old age. And then again, that's why I said they have an understanding and a wisdom that is in these scriptures. They doing everything right? No, but nobody is. I know Israelites that ain't doing everything right. And look at some of us, we dying in our 50s and 40s, and because they still have it's a certain knowledge. That's why y'all might say it's near in your mouth. It's in your heart. You know the right thing to do. You just rebel. That's why I use the term rebel. You rebel against what's right. This little fella that they got in the street, I'm promising you he can be this, he can be that. It's just rebellion. It's rebellion. You know, supposedly blood in his shoes. That was one of the first things. He got some new shoes. They're supposed to have blood in them. Then he got contact put in his eyes, the red. All this old madness. And now they got him, sister said they got him with a baby. And this is just, it's horrible. But it's not his alone to bear. They are using him. And because he is beneficial, everybody uses him. Everybody uses him. But what does it say? Let's look at the scriptures.
Isaiah chapter 30,
verse 1.
verse 1. Hallelujah. Woe to the rebellious children.
Woe to the rebellious children. We don't even have to go into the dictionary to know what woe means.
Hallelujah.
If you even watch Looney Tunes cartoons, you know what woe means.
You was around when Black Rob was here, you know what woe means.
You saying when he ride his horse, whoa! Whoa! I said stop. Bye. Crack him on the head. Whoa! Whoa means stop. I said whoa. He got just bye. Crack me in the head every time. Huh? Yeah. We don't even have to go. If you saw the cartoon, you don't even have to go. Whoa means it ain't nothing good.
Hallelujah.
So when the credit said whoa, that's what he's saying. Stop. Hold it. Whoa to the what?
Rebellious children.
Rebellious children.
Said Yahweh. That take counsel.
You see this, sister? They take counsel. Like I said, they take counsel.
But not of me.
They're executives, the record executives. Like I said, the promise of, that's what I said the other week. Yeah, I'm not saying everybody, but there's too many stories of all our stars and entertainers and people that have made it. There's too many stories that if you knew, and if I knew all the things they did to get to the top, you wouldn't be looking at them and saying, man, I want to be like them. Why you think a lot of them get on drugs and die from drugs?
Suicide.
Because they got stuff, they got to take these drugs to help take them out again, mentally and spiritually, of where they at.
Yes, sir.
Because they didn't get where they at just because they could sing. No, when they went from, they started making them do things when they got in that work. One of the brothers, and nobody rescued him. Because this was part of, and they didn't want nobody to rescue him from his ghost. Because this is part of what helped him be who he was.
Yes, sir.
And that was DMX.
Yes, sir.
That was part of what helped him be who he was.
Yes, sir.
Is that demon was there with him.
Yep.
that he was caught between them two worlds. You took that no. Don't take that away from him. He hooked on something. We don't want him to go get clean because he won't be DMX. He DMX when he high. He DMX when he out of his mind.
Yes, sir.
That's when he DMX. That's when we'll make money. Because his records will sell. Like his moniker. He won't be the dog. If you take the teeth out, who gonna fear? Whoever fear the dog, he come and bark. And then when he get to bite, he ain't got nothing but gum. You like, man, you stick your arm and go on, bite it. Go on, bite it. Play with it, then go on, get it. Bite it. Because he can't do nothing. His edge is gone. Huh? Huh? Does it make sense?
Hallelujah.
I am Peter Pan. You play like you're Peter? No, I am Peter Pan. I love you, but they're telling you, huh? Peter Pan was a fictitious character. For you to think you were a fictitious character, that tell you something, huh? But that also was his genius, though. Why I want to give him some help? With a mind like that, he created only one of the biggest songs in the history of pop genres. I want that little wiped out mind to just go. Because when he let it go, he give you just nothing but good, pure entertainment. Huh? Thriller. Huh? Had everybody and their grandma trying to moonwalk it, and they still doing it in line, still going. You play they don't know nothing else. They're about to stand one way. They don't know nothing else. Huh? But that came out of a disturbed mind. It did. It did. So why I want to get him help? Then he telling people he is Peter Pan. If he Peter Pan, let him be Peter Pan.
He built Neverland.
He built Neverland. Let him be Peter Pan. We don't care where he is once he is out of the studio. Huh? But what we want to stop that for? I'm telling you the truth now. Huh? Yeah. Look at the boy on trial now. I don't know. That's why I said I don't know who he made mad, but he made somebody mad. That's why they ain't came to his rescue. Messing with all them girls, doing the things he was doing.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
No, he ain't got no sense. When has going to the bathroom ever been pleasurable? That's a whacked out mind. Huh?
Yes, sir.
But with that whacked out mind, he made a lot of line dance songs.
Yep.
Loving, step in the name of loving. That Chicago, New York, Detroit, you put it on there, you ain't gotta say nothing. You just get up.
Line dance. Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Temptations. That's why I like them documentaries when they do them movies like that. Temptations. Showed you all they demon. One of the greatest groups, huh?
Yes, sir.
But the one, alcoholic.
Drug addict.
Other one, drug addict. Huh? Would come to concerts drunk and on drugs.
Yeah.
They leave him alone. Watch him. Because he's uninhibited. Watch him. He don't have no filter. He can go out there and just let it all. He drunk, he high, he can just let it all hang out. Oh! All on the ground, moving like a snake, and girls are, oh, he's singing to me. They come back, they gonna follow. They gonna get groupies. They gonna even follow him from bus to all over the room. There's nothing but power. I know. Leave that boy alone. Should we report this?
No,
Shut up.
there ain't some black coffee. Yeah, all right.
Let him do what he do. Huh? Until you can't do it no more, you find it gone.
Can't do it no more, then they use it against you.
Hey, it's a world out there. It's a world out there.
Yes, sir.
And that's why the Creator said, read that again.
Woe to the rebellious children, said Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me,
Not of me.
and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
At every war, I want to thank God for making this possible. I say, well, who are you thinking? Because the God of the scriptures, I know he condemning all this. I want to thank God that I'm the number one rap seller. I didn't know my album, Kill 'Em Till You Can't Stop, would be such a hit. Kill 'Em Till You Can't Stop. People just laid on out, cover your I didn't know it was going to be such a hit. Everything my God, my Savior. JC Lynn. Gee, come on now. You got to do better than that. Number one on the Billboard, the Source Award, Essence Award. They even give it to you Humanitarian of the Year. Who is that? Rapid Destruction. Album, Kill 'Em Till You Can't Stop. You got Humanitarian. Wait a minute. Where's the Humanitarian of the Year? I thought you help people when you get that. I didn't know you did that. Wow. Okay.
We got a military war for
you
beating the youth program.
I have my all messed up. But come on, brother. They have sin unto sin. What? They have the counsel, but not of me.
They have the counsel, but not of me.
Oh boy.
And that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit.
They may add
Sin to sin.
They might add sin to sin. See, I got to think. I got to say this. I think a little bit the reason why some of them might be attacking that young man is because in that industry there's something called publicity.
Yes, sir.
And when you get publicity, that's what you're doing to it. There ain't nobody talking about you. See, that's why sometimes they'll even manufacture stuff. When ain't nobody talking about them, they'll manufacture events and stuff so they can become relevant again. You see? And now he is the newest thing that's getting all that publicity. So they like, man, we ain't shining. They talk about him more than they talk about him. So now they, seeing that, they like, Because like I said, well, what do you have to champion? What's your track record? When you doing all the stuff you doing, ain't like you rapping about the Boy Scouts or nothing. You have people add sin to sin. So there's not a whole lot of room for you to be saying anything, because they brought that up on one of the interviews that he had on the radio show. They said, hold on. They said, we know that ain't good, but don't you think this whole culture has been a culture of destruction? Because we know your songs. Then he wants to be like, and backtrack and not take responsibility for the murder and all the degradation and what they putting out. You can't jump on him until you're willing to say, yes, but I don't do that no more. And that's what I'm saying about my brother. He shouldn't let them use him like that no more. Because I don't make songs like that no more. That's going to hurt my people.
Hallelujah.
But then guess what? You short went into the meet with the executives. Like I said, so I ain't making nothing up. With 2 albums. 2 albums. And they said, we'll do both of them after you put this one out. Because they wasn't raunchy. They wasn't what everybody knew him for. They wasn't raunchy. They were positive. They was upbeat. They said, yeah, we'll let you do that after this. Guess what? After this never came.
True.
After this never came. That's one of the frustrating things I had about my brother Tupac.
Yeah.
He can make a song like Dear Mama and then come right back with something about I'm like, where did Dear Mama go? He can make Brenda out of baby and then he can make How Do You Want It? Like, wait, I'm confused. Brother, you take me on an emotional ride. I'm confused. You got me all messed up. Yeah. I'm like, well, you playing with my emotions. But the bird said they add sin to sin. He said that's what the rebellious children do.
Yep.
Then look what the bird said in Isaiah 5 and 20.
Isaiah.
Because this speaks to what you were saying when they say nowadays when you speak to what's right. And who was saying that? They want to demonize you.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20.
Even if you don't speak to it, when you live what's right, they want to. Why are you doing that? I said, well, it ain't hurting you. Just like with this vaccine, everybody, if you don't think, again, y'all, my word is real, it's real. They set up a condition, the wicked doing this, for civil strife. I don't care if you take a shot or not. You shouldn't care if I do. But it protects me. Well, why did you still catch COVID? I don't know, but they told me to protect me. Apparently it did. And if you already are protected, then why are you afraid of me? And what harm can I do to you?
Why does copper metal coin seep into your home?
You know? That's the thing. No, if you got protection, what can I do to you?
Right.
That's like me holding a gun. That's like me holding a gun. What am I? And I got you on the end of that gun. All I am is I got protection. Why am I scared of you? You should be scared of me. See, it's the mind. They got everybody fighting. The righteous know the proper thing to do. We've been doing it before even the COVID outbreak. Because let me tell you something. Again, some of this come from maybe not overt wickedness, but some of this transmission of all the disease and stuff like that come from people plain old being also nasty.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Point blank.
Because when you sick, like we tell people here, when you sick, stay at home. We've been teaching this for years before it was even such a thing as a COVID. Let them tell you. When you sick with a common cold, stay at home. Don't come here. Ha, oof. Sneezing at any time on the body. Man, what is this? Nose is running, you just wiping in, rubbing all everything. That is called, if you think you're contagious with something that's contagious, stay at home. That is wisdom we know is in scripture. We've been on, we ain't hyped on, they said quarantine. That's in scripture. That's wisdom. Mask, that's in scripture. That's wisdom. This is wisdom the Almighty gave us to keep us healthy. I can't wear a mask. It takes away from who I am. It does? You that bad? You that bad? It's infringing on my right. You that bad? I mean, my goodness. This whole thing has made people crazy. They fighting. Man went to a meeting, school meeting, he stripped down all the way to his birthday suit. I said, these people are acting a total nut. What's wrong with me? But it's because of what's being fed, and how things are being fed, and people fall into the traps of these things. Because number one, I'm gonna do what it takes to make sure I'm all right. And if you got any sense, you will do the same. Lady got on the radio yesterday. She said, "Well, no, I haven't taken the vaccine." She said, "But I know people who have." She said, "Matter of fact, my husband, he caught COVID." She said, "I took care of him, hands on. I ain't put him away. I took care of him, hands on, and I was never caught him. Didn't go on leave and come back. I was there with him, and I never caught him. Never got him." Little girl, I can't believe that. So what you telling me then? She said, "I take care of myself. I eat right. Which if you call this disease, and I'm just only saying, I ain't saying nobody what to do. But if it is a disease of the immune system, then there's ways, because even doctors have said it, there's ways that you strengthen your immune system so that it can help, not prevent, because you won't prevent catching any virus or anything. But the immune system is there to help fight off when you do catch it. So we're going to read this scripture, then we're going to pray. But she said, I eat right, exercise. I wear masks, I double mask. She said, I take all the precautions. Without taking the vaccine. And many people now want to say, well, why you ain't taking this vaccine? You got vaccinated as a baby. Well, my argument to him, number one, is I didn't know. I did not get vaccinated as a baby. I didn't. My parents got me vaccinated. I knew nothing about it. They got the shots. I had no control over that. So don't tell me I need to take this because I was vaccinated as a baby when that's not my decision.
Oh, yeah.
That don't even make sense.
Not at all.
But we're not gonna go down the COVID road. Let's read this 5th chapter.
Isaiah chapter 5.
And start, my brother, at verse 11.
Hallelujah.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 11.
Yes.
Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue until night, till wine inflame them.
Addict. That's a biblical definition of an addict.
Yes, sir.
Any kind of addict. Alcoholic, weed. Some people wake up in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Not to weeds, but
sir.
weed.
Yes, sir.
And for lunch, they don't eat wheat germ.
Yes, sir.
They eat weed.
Yes, sir.
Creator says, whoa. Huh?
Hallelujah.
Again, better second guess that. Why you think the wicked And yes, I'm saying it right. I know people don't want to hear it. But why do you think the wicked is so now apt to let this be more loose? Because he knows the state of society. And he wants people to be high. So he can continue practicing the wickedness that he is practicing. So money, yes. But also he knows the condition of people. He knows people self-medicate.
Yes, sir.
Look at the little sister.
Definitely.
Look at the little sister. Very talented. And I'm not jumping on her. She's very talented. But lost her mother. And what does she do? Had no other support system. And even if she did, what did she do? She chose to go to what? Weed. You're a top-notch athlete. Top-notch athlete. With a worldwide reputation.
Yep.
So many young children looking up to you. I know because I have one, and he loves her. He adore her. He know her name, he know her name. Even when she rang, that's it. I said, boy, you he just love her. Again, gotta be careful.
Yes, sir.
Huh? Role models all the time. Somebody. And what does she do? Smoking a little something. Huh? Now, the truth of it is, I'm praying that she can rebound, but the truth of the matter is, it don't look like she's on the road to rebound. Huh? Because the next race out, she got touched. Didn't even beat nobody. Finished dead last. Huh?
That's no win.
Dead last. Everybody talking about what's in the Jamaican. Let me tell you about what's in the Jamaican. Yeah, they do sports, but not them athletes. What's in the Jamaican athletes when they train is pure training.
Yes, sir.
I know. It's fruits, it's berries, it's pure training. That's why Usain Bolt was just that. Oh, he's playing with people. He running beside them. Then we say, let me call him this. I looked at them two sisters, that one sister that won the Olympics. Man, you don't catch in the first 5 steps, it's over with.
Oh,
I said, good gracious alive.
no.
They might well not even what they should do so everybody can feel good about themselves. They let her run to the finish line. Then line everybody else up and say, everybody else, y'all run. Everybody feel good. Because that's demoralizing to watch that woman come out the block and then 2 or 3 steps in, she just, It's demoralizing to me, and I'm watching on TV. The same shit, would you erase their years? I said, never. I'm talking about years ago when you was never. When you was in shape, never. They wouldn't embarrass me. But they made you that. I got in the spot with hamstring. Hamstring. No, that's unfair. Sometimes you just have to recognize greatness and be like, unfair.
Yes, sir.
So we hope the sister can get bounced back. I really do, because she's very talented and she has the tools. But it's in some of her lifestyle and it's in her thinking. It's up here. Her mentality. That's what's going to do her. If she don't get that together. And again, that comes with having people around you that can help you do that. Because like I said, that's why I come here. Because that's what was given to me, and that's what is given to me. I want to always tell you what you want to hear. I tell and teach what you need to hear. And that's why I said sometimes I don't go places to teach, because you might not want to hear what I have to say. So I'm not going to sit there and say what everybody want to hear. That's not how the Almighty has built me to teach now. I teach what you need to hear.
Hallelujah.
One of my beautiful brothers, he didn't make it today, but I ran into him yesterday, and we hashed everything out. We hashed everything out. I knew what was going on with him. But he saw me and he didn't have to stop, but he stopped. He stopped. He stopped. Just like I said, when I went back up, he stopped. He said, man, he said, I want to come back to class. I said, I know. I said, you come back to class. I said, you come back to class. I said, because I told you, what I said that day, I said 1,000 times. I'll say 1,000 times more. I'm telling you, son, what you need to hear. I don't hate you. I'm telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Oh, yeah.
Now, maybe some of these others won't tell you that. Then he thanked me. He said, how come I said, yeah, you never thank me. Why not? This says the house of Israel congregation.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't say Aaron Israel congregation.
And then nobody ever put you out.
You welcome to come in time you want to. Woe unto them, yes. And that what? Until wine and flame, and the harp, and the psaltery, and the tabret, and the flute. What else? And wine are in their feasts, but they regard not the what? Work of Yahweh. Because Israel, that's what Israel does, desire a good time. Like I said, this class ain't always packed, but I know how to get it packed. If I desired it for it to be packed, I know exactly how to get it packed. Standing room only. I know what to do. You won't even be able to move. I know what to offer. If I want to see all my brothers, I know how to give them together. I know what to promise. Class and what just getting together. I told brothers there, I said, man, that was what was different about us. We didn't, black people did was here. Let me see that. You have any black people been in America? Yes. But that ain't what we talking about. We talking about Israel. And was Israel in America before whites? And if the Almighty is telling the truth, he said, I will take Israel to a place in a land that they have not known. Or was it black people that came here that mingled with other black people and natives of this land? Yes. And they came with a not conquering mentality. They came with a sharing mentality.
Yes, sir.
A sharing mentality. Huh? And then even when we broke out of slavery, broke away from our slavery, no wonder we found a home and we got Indian blood in us. We do. And why wouldn't we? Huh? When we ran across some of the Indian tribes and they had bison, look what they had. They had barbecue.
Yep.
Because they barbecue.
Every day.
They didn't fry, they barbecue. So they had barbecue.
Every day.
Blue don't like barbecue. All right. Huh? They had libation.
Yep.
Libation is a fancy word. Wine. They call it corn liquor, but they had good stuff, natural stuff. Huh? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Loose wine. And then cheap. Then when you watch cheap, walking that tent, you got a long pipe. What's coming out? Now what Israelite want to do? Wait a minute, they got barbecue, like that, and you got that pipe.
It's gonna be something called kimchi.
I was a tribal Dan, but I am a Navajo now. I'm all out.
That was Navajo now.
I'm a Dan hole. Now I'm they got everything I need.
I'm taking a white.
And small, no, I'm straight. I don't know about y'all. I am straight. The love can bring you together better than that. We'll argue against that. Yeah, I'm soft visiting the Holy Mountain. They so did. All those mountains. Let's go, brother. Oh, this going so big.
Hallelujah.
Come on, brother.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 13. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity.
But y'all might say that's why we gone what?
Into captivity. Because they have no knowledge. And their honorable men are famished.
Oh.
And their multitude dried up with thirst.
Yes, because we can't always just have a good time. And everything can't always just be about a good time and happy feelings. There come times that when you really want to advance, you got to get down to the nitty gritty and not have a good time. You got to talk about the things that make people uncomfortable to move us forward. Everything is not all roses. But that's the only way we want it. That's why our children are suffering, this generation is suffering, because all they know is a good time. Everything is a good time. Life is short, and I just want to have a good time. Fast living. And they won't consider that maybe life isn't short. And maybe you will live to be 50 years old. And what do you have to show for when you're 50 and 60? Maybe life does offer more than what you know it offers. Once you get out the ghetto, get out the inner city, or get a new perspective, they won't consider. And y'all might say, because they won't consider, look at us languish and suffer. My daddy homie, he gone. He gone. I'll be there tomorrow. That's where they mind at.
Sir.
So bloodshed, with a mind like that, bloodshed touches bloodshed. But I want you to drop down. Now, go ahead, brother. That's exactly what the Almighty getting ready to say in verse 14. Watch it.
Therefore, hell having enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it.
And that's what we on. We on a spiraling cascade straight to hell. Our neighborhoods are in hellish condition.
Yes, sir.
You gotta walk around like you guard Fort Knox. You got young men holding babies in one hand and shooting at the mama in the other hand.
Yes, sir.
I said, what madness is this? Holding a baby and he's shooting at the baby mama in the same. This is madness. Verse 15.
And the mean man shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled. But Yahweh of hosts shall be exalted in judgment.
He's going to be exalted through judgment.
And Elohim that is holy shall be sanctified in righteousness.
And he's going to sanctify himself. If don't nobody else want to do it, he's going to sanctify himself in righteousness. He's going to show us what it is to be righteous and what it is to have true judgment. He's going to make sure that comes to pass. And when he's done doing that, then shall the lambs feed after their manner, and the waste places of the fat ones shall strangers eat. Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity. And that's, like, again, that's my little brother. But that's all of them that they promise all this prosperity to. That's how you can give prosperity. It ain't hard to achieve and be prosperous in the land of the wicked if you're willing to be wicked. But if you're willing to be righteous, you're going to bump your head. If you're willing to stand for some things, you're going to bump your head. That say, let him make speed. Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin as it were a cart throat.
Let's say, let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it. And let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh and come, that we may know it.
But if y'all say we wrong, y'all say we wicked, but let him answer me then. If I'm doing so bad, let him answer me. Let him do something to me. But you don't want that.
Hallelujah.
You don't want that.
Hallelujah.
You want the Almighty to come and answer you
No, you don't.
and do something to you?
No, you don't.
That's a bad mind. That's a horrible mind. Then he says, verse 20.
Woe unto them that call evil good,
And that's what they're doing today.
and good evil.
And that's why, like my brother said, when you speak out against it, you the villain. You homophobic. I'm not scared of nothing. I'm telling you it ain't right. And that's why I make the sense of it. That's why I stay with my only one analogy. Give me two people of the same sex and let me deserve anywhere on this planet Earth. And when I come back in a year, tell me what I'm coming back to.
One another.
I do good if I'm coming back to both of them. Great if I'm coming back to both of them. Good if I'm coming back to one. Might not come back to neither one of them. Because they have not the ability, the God-given, Elohimly given, they have not the ability to even replicate themselves and prolong their prosperity. But give me a man and let me desert him on anywhere in this earth with the ugliest woman that he thinks exists. I guarantee you when I come back,
You know, multiply.
if somebody else,
A whole village.
because it's done kicked in. After a month or so, she ain't looking all that terrible to him no more.
I can get past the eyebrow.
That night, we sleep. Yeah. It hit him. It hit him. Huh?
Oh, God.
Because that's what? That's one of the first laws of creation.
Yes, sir.
Be fruitful
And multiply.
and multiply and replenish.
Earth.
That's a natural law that was put in the earth.
Hallelujah.
But to execute that meant male and female. This ain't about homophobic. This is only about what's true and what's right. And what makes divine sense, not common sense, divine sense. I'm not telling you because I hate you, you're gay. No. I'm telling you because it's not right. You're deceived. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
That put darkness for light.
And what?
And light for darkness.
That put what?
Bitter for sweet.
And what?
And sweet for bitter.
Woe unto them.
That are wise in their own eyes.
And what?
Prudent in their own sight. Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine, and men of strength to mingle strong drink.
Which justify the wicked for reward.
And
Take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. Yeah. It's all right he do all that. Because look how rich he is. That ain't all right. That ain't all right. I say this and then I'll wind up. I did promise to go to a place, out of place, off key. So don't worry, think that. See one of my brothers. But I'll say this. I was listening to a show, syndicated show, and the host, he said he was with a rapper. He said, man walked up to him and said, hey, so he said, I love your show, man. And keep on. Love what you're doing for our people. He said, thank you. Then he said, then the rapper was there next to him. And the young man, after he addressed him, he addressed the rapper. He said, "Hey, how are your B doing?" He said, "The rapper said, what? Who you talking to like that?" And he got all worked up and down his source. He said, "Well, I'm talking to you." The man said, "I'm talking to you." He said, "You ain't." So now it's getting ready to come close. The man said, "Wait a minute." He said, "For years, he told me my daughter was a B. And other men thought it was a B." He said, "So why your wife can't be a B? If my daughter, if it was good enough to put that on my daughter and other men's daughters, because when you rap, that's what you rap, and that's what you call all the young women. So now why can't we put that on your wife?" You know, radio host said they stood back like, "I ain't in this.
After that,
You deal with
right.
He said, "It sound like it makes sense to me." And so many people justify it because he what? Again, what? Making money. Making money. We'd be amazed to think we tolerate when people doing good. Like I said in a minute, they couldn't come in that house with no drug money. At least they found the cops. I got something there they ain't never seen. And this gonna hand out justice. Yeah. I cannot justify you doing that. And I know that made that young man kill that young man. That made that baby fatherless. Even if the father in the house, if he whacked out his mind, he fatherless. I know that destruction. But we'll justify so many things because they're friends or big money. Not when you're righteous. And the Almighty word, woe. Woe. And he said, "Woe unto them." He didn't say specifically, he said, "Woe unto them." Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So yeah. So I disagree with what the young man is doing, how they using him, but I disagree with how they using all of them. And if they're gonna be on the crusade against him, they need to start at home.
Hallelujah.
And change the way that they making money and the things that they rapping and saying. Maybe then he'll listen to them. All right, we're gonna take a break.
Hallelujah.
We're breaking for. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna take a break. And we're gonna come back, have a little time. We're gonna speak to Genesis 15.
Hallelujah.
Again, the affliction. We're gonna be what we focusing on. The affliction. Then we're gonna speak. Don't let me forget there's announcements to be made. Talk a little bit about this week. So we're glad to be prepared. Peace. And how I do like it's going. And then there's some other announcements. Some less desirable announcements to make. Bring everybody along. And we'll do that in class.
Hallelujah.
If there are no other comments, midday this morning, then we're gonna adjourn. See, I think I do all right. Teaching. I can do better. I can do better. The one thing I gotta do better is get it. I gotta hear more. Yes, sir. Right? Yes, sir. Giving our best, we can get better. Giving our best, we can get better and better, and never be good enough. Hallelujah. All right. One of the sons of Aaron is gonna pray. In red. We looking for fire. Yes, sir. He pointed himself, come on in his main hall and pray. Yeah, you brothers, come on. All that red, we like you on fire. Just pray. Yeah, hold your head up. Speak up. Hold your head up.
Oh yeah. Thank you for the day. You allow us to keep what's in your name. Keep our spirits right. Spirit is great. Get our food.
Hallelujah.
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 Praise
Praise the mighty Yahweh. God is righteous all the time, both day and night. Hallelujah.
I ain't gonna mess with you. I ain't gonna mess with you.
Yep, I'm not even gonna touch it.
Boy.
That's too easy.